You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector's Net, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests when we got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream, gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector's Net, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yo,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
what is going on? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 35. And tonight we welcome Nintendo Revised to the show. Welcome, Jesse.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
We really appreciate what you're
Yeah.
doing in the community right now, Jesse. For people who aren't aware of who you are, please introduce yourself.
I appreciate it. So I'm the admin and the creator of Nintendo Revised, and what we do is we look for Nintendo Switch reprinted cartridges of a lot of games, mainly first-party titles, but including indies and third parties. Trying to find the most complete cartridges that have all the content on the cart, including all patches, DLC, bug fixes, etc. So that's mainly what I do, but I also dabble in fighting for preservation for PlayStation and Xbox and preservation as a whole, as I feel like that's very important for us gamers.
Absolutely. And now is definitely a good time because it's just all going off the rails. It's just
Absolutely.
with the new PS5 Slims and the updates and the half-assed releases and broken games, and oh man, it's like this type of work needs to be done by the community because the companies are just failing.
And it's
Yeah,
so important
yeah.
today to be getting this information out rather than in the future when this information can be hard to find or patches have already disappeared and games have already become unplayable. So it's great that you're working on this currently.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Since you guys are, it seems like PlayStation is more your thing. Or maybe that's a bad assumption. I'm just going based on the name of the podcast. Is how do y'all
We
feel
talk
about
about
the?
all genres here: PC gaming, mobile gaming, you name
Gotcha.
it.
Gotcha.
It started off with a PlayStation Collector's Show and sort of just branched out into video games and a little bit of everything.
No, that's perfectly understandable. A lot of people assume that I just talk about Nintendo just based on my name, so I get it. But how do y'all feel about the PS5 Slim requiring an internet connection just to set up the disk drive?
Oh, I think it's ridiculous. And we didn't bring this up last week, but they announced that you can't actually exchange disk drives in it, right? So once you've got one, you can't put in an external hard drive or anything like that. Is that correct?
I don't know what you mean.
No, there was a big controversy. I'll look it up on Twitter, but there was a big
Like you can't add like an SD, like an external for your PS4 games. You mean stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, and if you're going to, you have to like reformat the hard drive and different things like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I also heard that every time you reformat the PS5, it requires an internet connection yet again just to set it back up again. So
yeah. and other things. So it's like the most anti-preservation console that's ever been produced. It's awful.
Well, there's always the Xbox Series X and Xbox One and Xbox Series S. All of those require internet too, just to set up. So,
Yeah, they're awful consoles. Well, like the Series S is the most useless console that's ever been produced in modern day. Like, there's games that don't even fit on the console. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you should really just get a PC at that point and
Yeah.
just get Game Pass. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, I mean, maybe I get it if that's all you can afford or whatever, or if there's like one or two games you want to play, you're like a real casual gamer or something. But no one who's into the hobby can find much use out of that thing. So
If you enjoy it, you're gonna regret it because then you can't put any discs in it. Like, it's the most anti-consumer product.
I have a Series X myself. This was way before I got super deep into, preservation and stuff, and I really started gaining my knowledge about it. But I always knew I wanted more of a physical console. But even the Series X itself is not really worth owning per se, because the discs just don't have much content on them anyway. And then, like I said, you have to have internet just to set up the thing. So it's dumb. But I usually use my Xbox solely for Game Pass, and if I like the game enough, I will go buy it on my Switch. that's what I've done. It just makes the most sense.
That's completely fair. I've got a PC where I've got Game Pass, and like it's all on there. And once I get sick of Game Pass, I just cancel it and forget about it. And
right.
You can usually look around on the internet and find like $1 for a month for Game Pass and different codes.
Mhm.
Like that. So I don't think I've ever paid full price for Game Pass once. It's a great service.
Yeah, I have no collection for Xbox at all. I completely collect physically for PlayStation and Nintendo, and then I have a huge Switch collection, just so you know. So yeah, definitely don't worry about that.
Nice.
I casually collect for the Switch, in my opinion, and I have like 600 games. But to me, that's like a pastime collecting. Like like most of my Switch collections, a lot of doubles. I could pick up the PS4 and the Switch copy on a lot of games because I'm so
nice.
Yeah.
So just purely out of curiosity, when did you guys encounter like our spreadsheet? Like where did you find us, or how did that come about?
I came across you on Twitter, and I'm assuming it's probably because of being in the community, following all the different limited run games, first press games, all those communities that I would have come across you. I've been following you for about 6 months or so.
Okay.
And I do recall one of our viewers talking about your project as well.
Okay.
I recall that it was a while back, one episode. So yes, people have definitely been talking about you in good ways, which is awesome.
So, not everybody. A lot of people on Twitter dislike me. I'm very outspoken. I'm very outspoken. What can I say?
Well, there's a lot of people that just literally worship these companies in a sick, strange cult-like fashion, and any form of criticism towards them at all type they take as some sort of personal attack on themselves, and it's quite interesting.
Yeah,
like it's like why are you defending this awful practice that doesn't benefit you in any way? Like I literally don't understand. Like, what are you hoping they send you free stuff or something? Like what are you trying to do here?
I don't get it either. Today I actually got, no, I wouldn't say attacked, but I got some negative feedback just because I was outspoken about the PlayStation Portal, which I think is absolutely a dumb piece of device that PlayStation's putting out, just solely for the purpose of there's nothing that you can do on it natively, and you can't really use it, unless you're tied to the internet and tied to the PS5. So I've been speaking negatively about it, and I have a lot of PlayStation lovers that would come after me, and of course everybody assumes I love Nintendo, but I was the first one to criticize Nintendo when they put out Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the DLC in Japan and only included Wave 1 through 5 and did not include Wave 6. You
That's
know,
what
So dumb.
that's the thing I found you on Twitter with, where I was extremely pissed off with that too. Like I was literally like beyond irritated when they did that. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't believe that they did that. Like that, and it's like we're talking weeks apart from when the game was released and when this freaking last patch was released. It's not like the next patch is coming out next year. It was
right.
like it's out now. It just came out, and the cart got released like less than a month ago.
Yeah, yeah. It was about a
Just
month.
delay it for God's sakes! Like, oh man,
Same
It's
thing
almost
with
like a double dip that they know what their consumer wants is all the content. So they know their consumers will buy that content with all the DLC, and then if there's one more, they'll buy that as well. So they get their profit
yeah,
twice.
yeah, and they did the same thing with Violet and Scarlet. You know, the DLC expansion pass is only including the first DLC and not the second. And of course, it has that stupid download required banner, and I called out Nintendo and the Pokemon Company for that too. And like I said, um, I I guess a lot of people assume that I just criticize PlayStation, but you know, Nintendo gets it too. It's they make some dumb decisions, and I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's actually really disappointing with Scarlet and Violet. Like I wanted to buy both of them. I'm really happy to own the Sword and Shield packs with all the DLC included on the card, and
Mhm.
they're going the complete opposite with the new ones. It just makes no sense. Like, what are you
Right.
doing to Pokemon in 20 years once your service is down? Is no one going to be able to play the DLC of these huge games? Like,
Right, right. Not to mention that those games really focused on enhancing the performance instead of, you know, adding DLC in the first place, because the games are still really wonky even if you play it with the latest patch. So there's that too.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
you're not wrong. I was so disappointed in Scarlet and Violet, and like I love Pokemon. It's one of my favorite Nintendo series. I've played them since I was a kid, and I still pick up the new Pokemon game when it comes out every year. But I was really disappointed with the most recent ones.
Yeah, yeah, I was too. And I played it on version 1.0.0, which is like when it first came out, and it hasn't gotten improved, my understanding, since. So
what up, James?
What's up, James? Well, going
So
back to the PlayStation Portable, Joe, you picked one up, didn't you?
yeah, dude, I got one.
you got
So
one.
it's so it's cool and it's not cool. So it definitely has its pros and cons. So he's completely right that as a device, it's kind of disappointing what you can freaking do with it. Like compared to my Steam Deck, this thing is like gimped beyond all belief. You know, like my Steam Deck is like, do what you will with me, you whatever. If as long, I don't care. Like you can break me apart, break me, put pieces on me, attach fans, upgrade everything, make it whatever. Like any software, any program you want, Windows, you want GOG. What do you want?
You want to play Nintendo, you
Yeah.
want to play
Yeah,
PlayStation games, you can do it.
Go nuts. And so I just went from having that experience to this thing where it's like literally like you can only use Sony headphones and like you can't like install your own games on it. Like I don't understand why it doesn't have any internal memory at all, and I can't access like my PlayStation account that they offer all these digital games to me every month. Why can't I download them to this thing and play them on my like? That's to me is ridiculous. And I know that's to keep the price down or whatever, but I don't care. I'd rather give them more money and get a freaking little hard drive in the damn thing and be able to do something with it. But
Right.
for what it is, if you're looking like for what I want it for, I got it specifically so that I have two PS5s now. I have one that I use on my nice OLED TV and I can watch Netflix and play games. And then I have a second PS5 that I bought because I wanted the Spider-Man PS5. That's one reason. And two, because of this thing, so that I could play games in my living room. And I have like a badass Wi-Fi router. Everything's hardwired. It runs good. So for what I'm using it for, sitting in my living room, it's freaking dope. But the actual remote play experience, like if you want to like take this thing somewhere and like log into your PS5 and play, it sucks, dude. But that's just because remote play sucks. It's like the technology sucks. It's not.
Right.
It just sucks. And you can't access the cloud. So yeah, I mean, it's got issues. Somebody's got to figure out how to break it. And then as soon as somebody figures out how to break it and hack it and do something cool with it, I think it could be better. we'll see.
Don't.
So it
I'm
feels like
not gonna lie.
Sony-
Go ahead.
I was interested. I was interested in it, but
Mhm.
for the $200 price point, for what it is, because I don't use my Switch on TV often unless I'm playing like Splatoon, which I play often, but with my
Mhm.
friends. But other than that, I usually like to play in handheld mode because I want to be in my bed next to my wife, you know, just playing my games or whatever. So that the PS Portal really like called out to me. But then when I realized what it was, and my internet's not the best either, I was like, for $200, I just can't like fathom paying that much for something that's not going to be. You know, I already tried remote play on my phone and it doesn't work that well, so I don't expect it to work any better on this portal for me, you know.
Yep. And
I feel like it was Sony's way of just getting into this new market where there's like the Nintendo Switch and the Switch Lite, and you know Steam have gotten into the market now, and you've got all these new products like AliOG and all these
Right.
after third-party products. And it was just Sony's way of being like, let's get into this market as cheap as we can, make
Yeah,
it
but
our
that's so-
product, make people buy it, make our own headphones for it, and you know the profit's going to be in all the peripherals that you buy with it and different things like that.
okay, but imagine they just came out with. I don't even care if it has carts. I literally don't care. Imagine if they just came out with a handheld that's an accessory for the PS5 or whatever. That just like I said, you can just access your digital content and play it handheld. Like even just that. Like I don't know why that would be so much better if I could just buy the PS1 classic games I want and download them and play them, or just subscribe to their stupid. They want to push this stupid subscription service. That would be a way to do it, guys. Like you could give me a reason to sub. Be like, well, if you do, you sub to that. You know, you have access to all these games. You can download them on your handheld, play them natively. That would be awesome. I don't know. To me, it's just it's kind of a mess.
The internet thing gets me. Being in Australia, the way I look at that device is I've got the PS5 at home, and when I want to leave the home, I've got a device to play on. Well, when you leave your house in Australia, guess what? You've got no internet. You can't use it. If I'm going on a big trip, I can't use it. Like that's
Right.
where I take my Switch, and I play my
Hmm.
Switch because I can use it on a plane and on a train, and it makes sense. You haven't got internet on these places. I know
Right.
there are planes that have internet now, but you know, not in most countries. And to me, it makes no sense. I'm not gonna sit there and play a handheld device because guess what? I've already got a Nintendo Switch.
I'm guessing remote play sucks on an airplane. I'm just gonna guess.
Is it even possible? Can you use
Yeah.
it without
Yeah.
internet?
I would go.
I'm sure it is, but I just can't imagine it's very good.
Or on a cruise ship also that provides internet access. You know, I doubt it's going to be any good on there either. So it's just I see it having potential, but for the price that it is, I just can't see justifying it. And then for someone that lives in Australia, I have an Australian friend, and he's told me before that internet in Australia isn't the best. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah. Let me just get the sound up. Where is it?
So
no. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I just heard you. You said the internet isn't. No. Someone was on the phone. I missed that.
So there's a couple things I will say about the portal I do like though. Is that first, like I thought that design would be terrible. Like I didn't like how it looked, but it is really comfortable. Like it feels
Oh, yeah.
fantastic in your
It
hands.
feels like it would be.
It feels nice. The weight of it is nice as well. The screen is massive and it's a nice screen. It's not OLED, but it's nice. So, you know, like I said, I enjoy it, but I don't see I'm strange. I don't like handheld game out and about like that. I just like to sit in the living room on my couch and play handheld games and watch TV and like watch my phone on YouTube. I have mad ADHD. I have like 6 things going on at the same time. That's what I like to do. I like to play games, have the TV on, and like listen to a YouTube video at the same time. So that's what I'm pretty much.
It sounds like it would suit you, and if that suits you,
Yeah.
then that's great product for the price. It sounds like it would really suit like families where you've got one device and multiple kids who will want to play, because then you can be like, you're playing here, you're playing here. We've got no fights. It works for everyone, and I haven't had to go and spend $500 on a new console, which is great, you know. And kids don't care what they're playing on. If they're playing, they're gonna have fun.
The only thing you guys do make just a huge point though is like it does absolutely depend on your like little ecosystem at home for internet. Like if you don't have like a good internet speed, upload, download, if you don't have like a nice router that's putting out a nice signal that's strong, it's not going to be great. But if you do have, you know, nice new router, and you're also, you know, you're paying for fiber optics, if you have all that, you'll enjoy it, I think.
Now, what is your thoughts if it had been more of a, I don't know if this is the proper word, but what if it would have had a Bluetooth connection like directly to the PS5? Would that have made it a bit better?
Oh, I was just about to bring up this point. Like, I feel like removing Bluetooth, even just for headphones alone, like you can own Sony headphones. Just picture this. You can own Sony headphones and you can't use them on the Sony device. Like, that doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
You know,
right.
I know they want you to buy their own, but you know, you can already own their product and you still can't use them. Like, surely Bluetooth isn't that expensive to add to a device, because Bluetooth's been around for almost 20 years at this point. It's just staple technology, and when it's not included, it doesn't really make sense.
Did you guys watch Mystic's review of the Portal? He put out a video on it.
I didn't know. I did watch a couple of reviews.
So he said he did he tested like some Bluetooth adapters and stuff on it to see, and he said that like he was getting all sorts of goofy ass latency issues and stuff like that. So he thinks that there may be like something in the way they did it, that it just not where it doesn't work right with regular Bluetooth. But I don't know. I just I don't want to buy them damn expensive headphones. They're expensive. Have you seen them? Like both of them? They're not cheap. The ones that they want to sell, the Link ones or whatever. It's like like $150, like $250 or something like that. It's insane.
Well, if you go back to my original point of, let's say you're a family and you've bought this because it's cheaper than buying a second console. Well, you can't be in the same room playing two different games without buying the headphones. So that just makes the price $450. And then you've been like, well, you may as well just buy another console at that point, right?
Yes, and you want to buy the OG console with the disc drive built in. That's right.
And you can get them cheaper at the
Yes,
moment,
because
like
absolutely, because if you buy the Slim and you get the digital version for whatever reason and want to upgrade it later, it's $80 instead of $500. You know, it's like, what is it, like $450 for the console plus $80 just for the disc drive? Like, the pricing at Sony's headquarters is crazy right now. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I almost feel like Sony are trying to take Nintendo's business model, where Nintendo know that they have video games that once they release a game, it's $60 and it's $60 forever unless they decide it's $60. Where Sony release a game for $60, in 12 months it's $10. I feel like Sony are trying to go away from that model and go more towards we're releasing a game and it's always going to be $60 and we're going to sell it for $60 in 5 years down the line. Like, look at Breath of the Wild. Like, you cannot find Breath of the Wild under $50. That's absurd.
Well, you know, if they are trying to adopt that model, that sucks for us consumers. It's horrible, because I absolutely despise that I can't find Nintendo games for cheaper than $40 retail. Maybe used, you know, from like a third party. But otherwise, it's like they never, at least here in the States, they never go under like $40. Even Breath of the Wild is going for Black Friday at $40. That's literally the cheapest, and it's been years now since that game has been out.
17.
Yeah, I know. They're big. They're one of their big games for sale on Black Friday is freaking Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'm like, that's a Wii U game, guys. Jeez.
And it's still $40. And it's still
I think
$40.
It's 30 for that one. 30 for that one, and Kirby. And I think there's one other one that's supposed to be 30. But that's it.
Oh, that's right. Target. Yeah,
Target has
has it.
some badass deals coming up. They also have Final Fantasy 16 for $30, Hogwarts Legacy for $30, Mortal Kombat 1 for $30.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't even know a couple other ones, but I'm so happy. I've been waiting to get Hogwarts and Final Fantasy 16 because I just know that they would both drop at some point, and I'm excited to try both of those games. So
the one I've been waiting for is Resident Evil 4 remake for the PS5, and it's
I think that's
dropping
going to
to
be on sale too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, 30 at
That's-
Walmart. So that's where I'm gonna get it.
Well,
Finally, I've been waiting for that price drop.
Well, there's another one that annoys the ever living hell out of me, dude. That's a game that they released DLC for it, and the game came out on PS2, for God's sakes. Why wasn't that DLC included on the game? Like, come on, dude. Like, get out of here with that noise. Like, you gonna milk us for another $9.99 for a DLC for a game that's that old? Like, that's already, come on. Like that.
Is
to
that where
me
they
was-
add the Wong story?
Yeah, exactly.
Ada
Yeah,
Wong.
Yeah, they had like a second little mission from her. So you get to see her side of the story and stuff, which fills in some of the gaps. But I don't know, man. I don't think
that
the
side
game
of the
needs
story
it.
has
But
been out there for years now, so they should have just included it to begin with. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
exactly, that's not. I mean, it's like DLC from PS2. It's not DLC anymore, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's not
you can't
DLC when the
No.
game's been out for 15 years.
you can't re-release the. That's dude. That's like imagine if they came out with Tekken 7 again, and then they tried to sell all the characters again or something. What are you fools doing? Like, get out of here with that.
Yeah, it's absurd. It is. It's
It's
double
irritating.
dipping on something that's already out.
Yeah, and I'm not, and what
Yeah.
they'll do is they'll release a deluxe edition that includes it to sell me the game again. Like, look at how many versions of Resident Evil 7 there are. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's like there's so many different versions of that game, dude. It's insane.
I want to go back to
Speaking of
what I was bringing.
complete,
So I just wanted to mention the
Go
point I
ahead.
brought up before. If with PlayStation wanting to take on this whole Nintendo's business model of keeping their games expensive, if we are going into a digital world, guess what? That's going to be so much easier to do because you look at digital games, the price of digital games is nothing compared to the price of used games in the shops. They control everything when it comes to the price of their digital games. If they want to have a sale, it's on their
Right.
terms when they want to at their prices. If they want to keep their game at $60 always, then guess what? It's always going to be $60 if there's no physical copy. And that's the world that we're going into. It's pretty sad.
What I'm curious about too is that if
It's,
it'll turn into like the streaming services did. What if they start just streaming wars and it becomes Xbox Live versus Sony PSN versus Nintendo Switch Online, and that's all it is a subscription service now, and like it'll kill the gaming industry, just like they've already said that like a bunch of indie developers that like got their deals cut from Xbox and like they're like can't make any money anymore. They're like
for gamers
So-
like us, I'm going to assume that you feel this
So you're cutting out there, man. We didn't
for
catch that.
people like us.
Mhm.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah. So
Okay. So for people like us, and maybe it's just me specifically, but when we go to an all digital, or in the case of what Joe was saying, all streaming, I'm done at that point. I'm just not gonna indulge in gaming anymore, and I'll finally be able to knock out my backlog, that's been ever growing. But yeah, I don't think I will continue in the gaming world after that at that point.
I got a similar but different approach. Like I definitely won't be spending the type of money that I have, but I don't think I'll ever be done with gaming. If there's a new game coming out, I'll still find a way to play it. But I definitely am not collecting like I was. I don't have the intentions of collecting when games aren't complete, when you're buying basically just a token to play the game, different like that. In terms of collecting, I'd much rather go back and now just focus on PS1 and PS2 and older systems where the game's always going to be on the disc or on the cart.
You're buying the complete experience, and there won't be anything missing, and
Yeah,
It'll
because I
work.
know that 30 years down the line, guess what? These games will still work. And I hate the fact that, you know, I've got a big PS4 collection, and down the line the servers might turn off, or some of these games mightn't have content on the discs and different things like that. I hate that, you know.
Yeah, I've been meaning to I'm like there's a part of me that wants to buy like 3 PS3 Slims, 500 gig hard drives, and just install and update everything on them and now because what the hell are that's irritating if like what if I do want to crack into my backlog down the and I can't get the freaking ending to freaking Azura's Wrath or whatever like the end of the game is DLC, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll throw something at you, and this is imagine you doing that, and you get to that point, and you realize the only way to actually play it is just to play the ROM of it. Like, how silly do you feel that you've bought this and preserved it for 15, 20 years? Yeah, the guy who 30 years ago said, I got my full collection on a hard drive is the guy who can play his games because yours is just plastic. Like, it's crazy. That's why I think your project's so important, Jesse, what you're doing. Just for the Nintendo Switch, people can go out and buy the games that they know are going to work down the line because all the content's on them from day one. It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. And well, I guess that actually leads me into how this all started. So originally, I found out about a game called Untitled Goose Game getting reprinted,
Yep.
and at the time I didn't understand it, but somebody said that it had basically been reprinted to include the co-op on the cartridge. And as I started looking deeper into it and started like to understand how to notice the differences, I asked a lot of questions, and there's this guy started giving me some of the details and stuff. Well, the only difference was is that other people hadn't actually started like this massive group spreadsheet type of thing. And so that's when, I decided to go to Facebook with the knowledge I had just gained and say, hey, has anybody does one anybody know about reprinted cartridges out there other than a set few, and if so, have you started your own spreadsheet? And so I met like two other people that had already started one, like small little spreadsheets. And I said, why don't we combine ours together and just make a massive spreadsheet and just start it like that and start a group. And so we did, and now it's grown to like well over 3,000 something games on there. And yeah, I feel like it is important because you know if like you said, if you want to go play Pokemon, uh the what was the last ones that came out? Sword and
Violet.
Shield.
Oh, Sword and Shield, yeah.
Well, yeah, the Sword and Shield with the DLC, you know that it's out there. You know that it's printed, and it's available to you. And
It's
and there,
expensive, but you can still buy it.
right, right, and at least it's out there and it's available for people to purchase, and it's going to be preserved in some way or another. And 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 then there's other people also, and this is the other side of the coin that we don't talk about often, but I feel like it is important too. It kind of goes back to like Mario 64. Like on the N64 there was speed run glitches that you could do on the cartridges and such. And so some people may want like the earlier prints of Mario Odyssey just to do like different tricks and exploit different glitches if they wanted to. Or if you want the complete experience, it's out there too. So there's so many options for people. And I feel like that's the spreadsheet is going to inform people of which version they want to go for, which cartridge they want to own, for themselves and what's more important for them. And I think that's important for all aspects of gaming.
I really think that is such an important thing. Like, you feel like if you're playing a game, you want to play the version that's got all the patches and downloads. But if you're playing a game for preservation purposes or playing a game that you played 10 years ago, you might want to play the original version that had those glitches that you first experienced. And especially
Right.
if you are a speedrunner, like speedrunners use these glitches as part of their speedruns and stuff. So it is so important to have that 1.0 or 1.6 or whichever version was most optical for that certain speedrun world record, etc.
Right, right. So I feel
So
like
we can't hear you.
that's. I mean, we didn't do like the previous revision thing until recently. I think most of what we tried to do is find the most complete version, but people voice their opinions that this other part is just as important, and so we added it, and now that part is growing too. And so yeah, that I I'm proud of the work that me and my team have done. I really am. I think that you know I think it's gonna be something very valuable. Maybe not right now, but as time goes on and when Switch actually gets faded away, it's going to be very, very valuable to somebody out there.
I
Especially once the servers go down and you actually can't
Right.
download these products, that's when people are going to start going, hey, I only want to buy games that are all complete. Is there a list? And yes, there is a list. And Jesse, for
Right.
anyone listening, where can they find your Facebook group and the list?
The Facebook group is called Nintendo Switch. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's called Nintendo Revise Switch Cartridge Revision Community. Or you could follow me on Twitter on Nintendo Revised. And on both platforms, we have our spreadsheet pinned to the top of the profile. And
We'll
it's
also leave
there.
it in the description, guys. So be sure to go and check out all Jesse's stuff. It's really awesome.
Thank you. And it's all free, nothing. All the information is community based. All the information that we get, we verify with pictures and to ensure that we get the accurate information. So we ask for like the front of the cart, the back of the cart, pictures of like the version number on the that's on the cartridge, picture of the updated version, how much that patch size is, if there is one, all of that type of information. So we try to like do our best to obtain the accurate information and not just go based on whatever someone says. We want to make sure everything's accurate. So yeah, but and then we also work with Does It Plays. I don't know if you guys know about that project.
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing an
I follow
awesome
them as well.
project as well. They're focusing on PlayStation as well, I believe.
Uh-huh. And we've actually started working with them recently, and their Switch database has grown exponentially since then. And so what we do on that front is we just grab a game that's got patches, or even the ones that don't, and we just test them from start to finish just to see how much content is there on the cartridge, and then we inform them, and they post it on their website.
It's such a good thing they're doing for the community, and it's not just for gamers. Like even companies like Wider Games are going to be using these spreadsheets to find out if there are reprints of certain games and different things like that. Because I'm sure not many people are aware of how many times a game gets reprinted. There's multiple Switch games out there that have had 3 or 4 different reprints that you wouldn't even be aware of.
And what I find fascinating too is like I'm way into this concept because I've been thinking about this since I got into PS4 and I found out about all these horrible problems. So I've been like trying to track down like perfect example. Like we talked about this, Reggie, is like Life is Strange 2 only has like 5 episodes on the disc and the 6th episode is a download code. But the Japanese copy has them all on the disc because that one came out after and they're all included. So it's the one I got. So like I've always been trying to find like the one that has the most complete. And what I really find fascinating is I love that you guys are testing to see like what patches are on these new revisions. So like, cause like, in my mind, I've used to care more about whether it was ESRB or PAL or Japanese or whatever. Like I wanted all ESRB, but now that's totally changed in my mind. I don't give a crap. If the Korean copy's got everything on it, and in English, I want that one. I don't care anymore about like what the region is as much as what I'm getting on the cart. So I think you guys like talked about like I think he's like maybe Bayonetta or something
Right.
got a release in like Saudi Arabia or something. I'm like, well, god damn it, I want the Saudi Arabian Bayonetta, son. I want to find that. You know what I mean? Like that's that type of knowledge is huge, even now because like if you are forward thinking, someone like me, like if you're into collecting, you want that. Like this stuff is super helpful. I'll be watching your stuff religiously to try to get the best copies of stuff. I'll be tracking it nonstop for sure. And then selling my
I don't know
scrub
if
copies online for the same price. People won't know. I'll be messaging people on eBay. Can you take a picture of the cart? You might just see it. I just want to see what does it say. Yep. What does it say? Number 1, number 2. I'm not gonna even ask them. I'm just gonna say, can you just take a picture of the cart? I don't want them to know
and then,
that if they have a 3, that's worth more money.
And then cross-reference the sheet, because it's probably already there. I have to thank our community, though. The community has actually been the driving force of this, because obviously I can only buy so many games and I can only do so much, on my own. And so without the community actually providing these details to us, we probably wouldn't have what we have. But I don't know if either of you saw my most recent tweet, but we just found out that Double Dragon Gaiden, The Rise of Dragons, that just came out in June or July of this year, it has a 002 reprint. Just found that out like literally 2 hours ago.
Wow.
And never would have expected Modus. I guess that's how you pronounce the company name or the publisher. I never would have expected that they reprinted their cartridge, but here we are. It's not complete. It's still missing some patches, but I mean, it's better than the original cart that we got, which has version 1.0.0. This one has 1.0.2 on it. So it has more recent patches, and we have somebody that's buying the Asian Japanese version that came out in September to see what's on it. So if it wasn't for our community providing these details, man, it wouldn't work out, So
it almost sounds like people want to help at this point too, which is what you need, and everyone get buying those games that, AAA games, Mario games. It's easy to find out if that content's on there, but a game that only 1,000 people play over its lifetime, those are the ones that we really need to find out, because they just go unknown. Hey, Jesse, I wanted to talk about another big project that you focus on, and that's going up to different game companies that do the wrong thing. Me and Joe have been pretty vocal the last couple of weeks about First Print games and their
First Press
games and their shady practices. I know that
there's another company called One Print Games with a very similar name, and it's not that company. Those guys are nice. Just want to clear that up. Yep. One Print Games are okay. First Press Games. All right.
I know that you've had some responses from First Press Games, so I'd love for you to share your experience and everything that you've heard back from them.
Yeah, so before I go into First Press, if it's okay, I would like to go into Special Reserve, because that's what really started this whole thing for me. So Special Reserve.
Did you order Broforce as well?
No,
I've been waiting for Broforce for like 2.5 years.
Oh,
go ahead.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I have definitely heard the thoughts on that. But no, with what happened with Special Reserve, that's what really kicked off that secondary project for me. So it started with Gato Roboto. When I had the game digitally, and I had it digitally for, I want to say 4 years, at that point. And so the latest patch that I had for Gato Roboto digitally was 1.0.5. And when I found out that it was getting a physical print, I decided to archive the game because I was going to buy the physical version. And I figured I'd save myself some space on my Switch drive. So once I did that, I waited until the game got here. It got here, and in my mind, there was no reason whatsoever it shouldn't be complete on cart, because the game had been out for so many years at this point, and it hadn't gotten a patch in forever. So in my mind, it was going to be complete. Well, I put it in, and it downloads a patch with the cartridge inside, and it downloads 1.0.6 instead of 0.5, which is the last one that I thought it had. And I was like, well, dang, they released a new patch, but whatever, it is what it is, I guess. Well, somebody messaged me and said, hey, look, there's some discourse on Reddit that says that this game may be broken. So I took it upon myself at that point to actually play the game off the cartridge. And I played it up until the ventilation room, which is about 2 hours in to the game. And the game crashes every single time. And it will not proceed afterwards. So I tried this about 5 times. It wouldn't go past this point. It just broke the game and it completely software errored every single time. So I decided to start investigating. So I went on Twitter and I started looking through, the devs' reports about this 1.0.6. And I realized that the devs had actually told somebody at some point that patch would be on the cartridge, which it wasn't. That was mistake number one that I found out. Number two, I rose the concern with Special Reserve and I told them, hey, this game is broken. You can't beat it from the cartridge. If someone doesn't have internet access, they're not going to be able to play this game. And I got radio silence. So I started to, post it on Twitter and Facebook, and it exploded massively. Like I had so many people that were just behind me on this whole front. So I joined their Discord. I started talking with Special Reserve, and every time I would run into this person by the name of SRG Eric, and he would essentially shut me down. So he ended up blocking me on Twitter. He ended up blocking me on Facebook. Keep in mind, I never threatened him. I never said anything negative towards him. I was just bringing up the criticism that the game was broken, then it needed to be reprinted. Well, I was getting blocked everywhere, so I created a secondary account. I got blocked on that too. So eventually, I just started, massively posting on Facebook and Twitter, and they started getting hundreds upon hundreds of requests through email, through Facebook, through Twitter, and they finally bended and they said that they would reprint the cart. So,
So they should
limit on games too.
give people what they paid for. Like
right. And so after that point, it was like something in me that just told me I have to like fight for these things, because things are not going to happen unless we fight for them. And so people now come to me when it comes to, these types of situations. So another one was Super Rare Games Hell Pie. Hell Pie was another broken cartridge, and people came to me and asked me for help. So I all got into the Discord with Super Rare, but they were completely different, by the way. They
reprinted it real quick. Yeah, they're nice, dude. I like them a lot, actually.
They were super helpful. They never, blocked anyone. I, didn't have a problem with them. Special Reserve was just gun ho that they were not going to reprint the cart, and I just would not let it go. And so that happened.
Their customer service sucks.
Yeah, Hell Pie happened. We got that one reprinted, thankfully. And then First Press comes along, and I'm told. Now, keep in mind, I've never purchased anything from First Press, so I don't know anything about them. But people start coming to me and saying, hey, I ordered stuff 3 and 4 years ago, and I'm not getting my order. And so at that point, I was like, well, oh, hell no, that's not gonna fly with me. So I started tweeting at them. I started emailing them. I started Facebooking, messaging them, anything that I could do. And essentially, in so little words, what I told them was this. I was heavily involved with Gato Roboto, with Special Reserves, and I was also heavily involved in getting Hell Pie reprinted through Super Rare. Now, with all that being said, I can gather a whole community and come after you guys if I need to, or you could do the right thing. The choice is yours. Essentially, they didn't respond. So I decided to go the community route.
They never do.
So I started
they ignore everybody.
Yeah. So I started garnering support. I started garnering people, behind me. And I also got the Better Business Bureau involved in Germany, which is not the Better Business Bureau, but is similar to that. But I have
Das
a German
besten
friend.
Businessbüros? I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
But I have connections, and so I contacted my German friend, and he wrote up a report for me, and so that report was filed, and then at that point, once that report was filed, I started receiving responses from First Press.
Shocking.
Before that, they did right. Before that, they did not. So again, like I emailed them, I said, "You do not want to play with me," not because I'm trying to threaten them, but at the same time, I'm not one to mess with, because when I have my mindset on something, I'm gonna go full blown blast against you if I have to. And that's what I did. And when they responded, they said in the email, "We will issue refunds to anyone that has requested them." And so some people have contacted me with the refund request, and they have received their refunds back. Finally, after 4
Now they're
years.
doing it. I bet they haven't. They wouldn't do that for the first several years. And when what they told me, they were like, "Listen, if you don't like to wait for things, maybe you shouldn't pre-order them." That was about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Just
But
reading that email that they
I'm just so unreasonable because I expect my games within, I don't know, a fucking decade.
Right.
After reading that email,
No.
they said something that annoyed me. They said there are some emails that must have just gotten lost that we didn't receive them. Like copping out that we have had people contact us and we're not ignoring them. They just got lost.
Oh, they're absolutely 100% on total stonewall ignore everybody mode. And I'm literally partly responsible for that. So if you've noticed on Twitter, all their tweets you cannot reply to their tweets.
No, and that's another thing I brought up to them. I said this looks very, very negative on you as a company. And I even told them, look, I've been working in customer service all my life. And one way you do not deal with a customer is by silencing them.
Just ignoring them,
when
and blocking everybody. Yeah.
Right. That does not look good on you. And so therefore, if you're already blocking people, kind of similarly to how Special Reserve was doing, and keep in mind, Special Reserve is actually no more. Like they're pretty much finito at this point. They've been dissolved into Devolver at this point.
They don't need Special Reserve. Everything's getting retail releases anyway. Like it's literally pointless for them to exist.
Right.
Like Broforce, the Broforce retail is going to come out before the freaking Special Reserve version, dude. It's going to come out, and it's going to probably have more content on it than ever. It's like the whole thing is a joke.
Half the price, and it's
absurd. So absurd, dude. Another thing with them too, I just want to tell you. So I ordered Broforce and Demon Throttle at the same time. Right. And I don't know if you know, Demon Throttle is their game that was like, it's not available digitally. You can only buy this game physically. That's the only way you can own it, which I thought was kind of a neat concept. So I ordered Demon Throttle and Broforce. And when you ordered it, it said, Demon Throttle is not going to come out for a really long time. So if you order Demon Throttle and something else, what we'll do is we'll ship you your other order, and then we'll hold on to Demon Throttle, and then we'll send that to you when Demon Throttle becomes ready. Okay. And I've been waiting years. I haven't gotten Broforce or Demon Throttle. So I messaged them and I'm like, hey, can you at least just send me Demon Throttle, because Broforce is going to take 2 years? Can I at least have that game, considering like everyone I know bought it a year ago from Best Buy and has been playing it? And I still don't have my copy. And they were like, no, we're not going to send you yet. You'll have to wait for Broforce. Like, you guys are such assholes. You literally said the opposite but you won't send me Demon Throttle, even though that came out first before Broforce. This is insane. Like, I was so mad, dude. This is the same company I bought 6 mystery boxes from. And another 6 copies of Enter the Gungeon. That's funny. That was funny. Oh, wow. That was hilarious. I freaking called them immediately, and I was like, I will drive down there and stick these straight up your ass if you don't give me more games. Like, screw you. I'm like, I will keep 2 copies of Enter the Gungeon. I want other games. And they ended up sending me some other stuff, which is
You're right, Joe. It is really funny. I'm sorry, but it's hilarious.
Dude. Yeah, you should have seen me opening them. Like,
I wish you done it on the stream. That would have been gold.
Bro.
They must have a lot of copies of Enter the Gungeon that didn't sell.
Yeah, they did. I just wanted Shadow Warrior 2, goddammit. That's why do you think I bought 6 mystery boxes? Because they said they were going to give away a couple copies, and I didn't get one of them, of course. So
you really know, like, when
no, but another thing that they did.
You guys did.
Another thing that they did was with Cult of the Lamb, they botched that one too, because they said that their version was gonna include the most, the most DLC and most patches and blah 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 blah. Like there's literally a spreadsheet that they put out themselves showing how their version was going to be superior to retails. And then it turns out that the retail version has the exact same content because it was reprinted, like not the original 000, but there's like reprints up to like 004 now that match the special reserve version.
That came
And
out first.
those, yeah, and people got those through Amazon first before they got their SPRG copies. And it's like, so you hook people in and tell them that our version is going to be superior, but by the time that version comes out, the retail version is already available for people.
Yeah.
With the same exact content.
Hey
Which
guys, I
is-
just wanted to talk about First Press again. I know that they've done damage control, and like what they're doing is good with how they've addressed it, and I feel like they will get everyone their products in the end. But what isn't being addressed is they've lied to people, and they're taking 3 to 4 years to release their games, and they're doing it like that's okay.
Right.
Like no one's putting them accountable to
right.
So this is what pisses me off more than anything, and this is why. See, I like it's literally Empire probably literally partly responsible for why you cannot reply to their tweets anymore. Is because I was very reasonable and patient for like the first, I don't know, year and 8 months or so waiting for the game, and then after a while, like they just kept announcing more pre-orders and more pre-orders, and they were making plushies, and they're selling this, and they're selling hats, and they're selling this, and they're making this, and blah blah blah, and all the time posting. Here, buy this, and like literally, like I'm like, no, dude. Like, and then if you look, every comment to every post was, don't give these guys any money. I've been waiting for my games for 2 years. Don't give these guys money. They're a scam. Don't give these guys money. They're blah, 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 blah. Why don't you stop selling plushies and send me my games? Nobody wants to buy your crap. Send me my games. Send me my games. Send me, like that's hundreds of people all saying the same thing. And so like, they can't, they're, if that continues, like they're not going to sell anything and get new. Like people will see that does have an effect. If you go on and you see every customer is like, screw this company, they're a ripoff. That matters, and so that's why they
Oh yeah.
I'm just worried that they're trying to fund old. So what I'm afraid is they spent all this money and it didn't work out. Now they can't fund to the original purposes, and so now they're trying to take pre-orders to fund the old stuff. And what happens is if that collapses, if they can't do it, if their reputation is in the dirt and no one will order Chained Echoes and no one's going to order this crap, it's all just going to go belly up. That's what I'm scared of. It's just one day, we're all going to get emails saying, hey, it didn't work out. Sorry, guys. Like that's, and like there are people like
my understanding is that they are gathering funds to, print the older orders. At least that's the way that I've understood it based on the information that I've gotten, which makes sense in a way. But at the same time, it feels like they're going overboard because now they have so much to fulfill that they can't keep up with the orders that they've already gotten. And so they're so far behind, which is why it's taken them like up to 4 years at this point to even, provide feedback. But the main thing that I told them that I feel like they need to take away from all this, we could use this as a learning experience, is that you as a company have to be very communicative with your customers. If you communicate with them what's going on pretty consistently, I feel like more people would be more gracious with them. But the fact that they're avoiding people, shushing people, or silencing comments, that's not a good look. And as far as what you asked earlier, like what the plan is, my understanding is that, again, if people ask for refunds, they will get them. And I've gotten confirmation that people have gotten their refunds. For the most part, there's still some people that are struggling, but those are, a lot of people are getting their refunds, which I feel like is a good positive thing out of all of
I
this.
would suggest, if you have got an order, to apply for the refund, because all these products are still on their website. So it's not like you've
Right.
missed out on anything. You can just, if they get released, you just buy them then. But
Mhm.
you,
Well,
you take
that's
that
another
risk
thing I
if
was
you
gonna
don't
say.
know if it's never going to arrive, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well because I have gotten some feedback, which is very small, by the way. It's probably like 10% of my comments, maybe even less, where people will say, "Well, First Press Games provides, high quality products." Okay, whoopie doo. Like, why? How does high quality stuff make it all right for people, to not receive their products 4 years? Like, what are we expected to do 10 years later and still not have our product? It's not okay. But regardless of that, even if they are putting out high quality stuff, you know it could be true, but as long as the product is in stock, then that would be the time to finally get something from them. But outside of that, I would never pre-order from them. I wouldn't suggest it. I would say, ask for a refund if you need the money for sure, and just wait for it to be in stock and then buy it then if you want the game that badly.
And hopefully they do become in stock one day and the company eventually catches up. And I know there was an issue with the slip covers being different colors and blah, blah, blah. Look, we just want the games at this point. Like,
Right.
they could give customers 10%, 20% back and be like, sorry, we haven't got the slip. Here's the game that you ordered. People would be more happy than copying all this bullshit that they're getting. Jesse, you did bring up something that really concerns me is you said that they're trying to get the funds together to make these products that you guys have
Yeah.
already paid for. Just let that sit and you've paid for something and they still can't afford to make it. Like, that's a concern to me. Have they spent your money already? Like, what's going on, you know?
No, and
Yeah.
that is very scary because kind of like what Joe was saying earlier, what if it does go belly up? Will they be able to issue the refunds at that point to people? Like, will they be able to afford that? I don't know. It's super concerning for me. At the same time, this could go have the opposite effect. So we have to play devil's advocate and say, if all these people are asking for refunds, it's also possible that this may cause a opposite effect of what we want, which is that they may not be able to fulfill stock ever. So, it's a catch 22, but at the end of the day, it's your money and you deserve the product. And even if they don't print out the game, I mean, limited run has shown us one thing, which is even if they printed something out, a retail version may come out later. So, I wouldn't fret about it.
Oh, I don't think you can ever blame the community for getting refunds after it's been 3 or 4 years. Like, if that's the
Right.
reason that the company goes under, then they've only got themselves to blame because
Right.
you've gone about things completely the wrong way. Like, if I started a company today and my business model was to keep all the products and give them out in 4 years, guess what? There's going to be angry people on my doorstep or in my emails, and you've got to be prepared for that and how to deal with it. And you've got to deal with it the right way.
Right.
And
4 years from now, I haven't got my game from winning the Figsy quiz. What the freaking hell?
it shouldn't take until what you've done, Jesse, and gone to the Bureau of Germany, and it shouldn't have to get to that point for them to address people. Like, it's absurd
Right.
that it's gone on this long. Like, that just every quarter they'll put out a new list of their delays, and it's just an extra quarter under everything. And it's been like this for years. Like, if you didn't go after them, how many years would have they just kept this silence up? Like, would have they just kept the money until people forgot about it? We don't know,
Right.
and that's concerning.
And I
No,
I have to point out something too. Like, I kind of like you guys said, the reason that it's okay is because they produce high quality products. Like, that is
that's what
absurd,
they
dude.
say.
I can order a freaking Mercedes delivered to my house faster than a freaking video game and a piece of plastic. Get real. That's ludicrous.
And if Mercedes
and
delayed your product, they would give you stuff, and you'd probably get a complimentary car in the meantime. And
if I had to
everything.
wait 3 years, they'd be kissing my freaking ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause
Especially if
that's
I
how
paid for my
high-quality products
Mercedes.
work. You get treated like a high-quality customer.
And they
sorry,
wouldn't
but
be blocking me, if you know what I'm saying. So, and let's also be real. Like, I've been waiting over 3 years, more than 3 years, for a standard edition of Neko Navy. Just a Switch game in a little sleeve. And you know what, dude? Keep your stupid sleeve. Keep it. I don't give a damn. I don't even want it. Just send me the game. I don't care about the sleeve. I don't care about the coin. I don't care about the plushie. I don't care about the poster. I don't care about the hat. I don't care about the little freaking cardboard, freaking little puppet show thing you can build. I don't care. I just want my games at this point. I don't. Like if you ordered some $600 collector's edition that comes with a toy train set, then sure, yeah, wait for it for 3 years. I don't give a crap. But we're just talking about a regular game. This is not a reasonable excuse. Every other company can do it except this one. So that's not an excuse. If every other company can do it, including limited run games who are notoriously known for being slow, they make them look like freaking light speed comparison. It's like, okay, like I just it's just, it's not okay. And like I said, and what's frustrating is I could just, get my refund, but I really want the games. Like, I am a collector. I specifically collect shmups, and like they have some shmups I would like, and I would rather have that than my money back. And like I said, I don't care about any of these stupid things at this point. I'm like, I don't care if send me the sleeve that doesn't match. That's fine, dude. I don't care. I'm not going to complain. Give me the one that's not the same color. I don't even own any other of their Switch games. This is the only one I want. The only one. So whatever, no matter what color it is, it'll look fine.
Sorry, what's crazy though is no, you have absolutely every right to be upset. But what's crazy to me is that I believe that even though they're claiming, well, we're still waiting for these sleeves to be printed, or whatever. I feel like that's a holdover because the game itself is still not printed on cartridge. It's like that in itself is the biggest issue. So even if the sleeves and the coins and all of that stuff gets completed at some point, we still don't have the game because the game itself is probably not done on the cartridge. It's not printed. Another company that had this very same issue, but they finally, started becoming better. Not great, but they're becoming better. Is Strictly Limited. They had the exact same issue.
They were great when they first started, though. I feel like Strictly Limited just got ahead of themselves and
they released too many
too much and realized, oh, hang on, we can't do this, and they've slowed down again. Like they're now back to when they were first going, and products getting in hands a lot quicker, and they're a lot better with their emails than they used to be, and things like that.
I love First Press,
and First Press could become that again, or not again. I guess they've never been that.
I feel like they gotta change names at this point.
Yeah. But I mean, they could become better, but it is. I don't know. I've given them all the feedback that I can give them. They still haven't followed suit with opening up their comment sections or whatever. But I mean, I can't force them for that. I've already contacted the Better Business Bureau, and hopefully they can change that around eventually. But
it's on them to get better PR, and that's going to start by doing those little things. And if they don't want to talk to their customers, well, guess what? You're never going to get the trust back with your customers, and that's on you. Like 5 years down the line, they can do the right thing every single day. They still mightn't be making money, and that's on them because you don't do things. If you can spend 10 years to build a reputation, and you can ruin that reputation in a minute. Like that's reputation is something that's so hard to build.
What's the joke? What's the joke? I build 1 million boats. Do they call me the boat maker? No. I like 1 million shoes. They call me the shoemaker. No, you fuck one goat. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Oh my god.
It goes on much longer, but I shortened it for the sake of
it. I think it's hilarious. If you look at a company like Limited Rare Games, they're a joke. And they're still more trusting than 3 or 4 of these other companies out there. Like, make it make sense,
Limited Rare customer service email is like LRG crybabies. And they have better customer service than First Press. They literally they're like, you'll get your game when you get it. Shut up, you crybaby. That's their response. And like, I like them better than First Press. It's amazing. Yeah, dude.
What about Dispatch Game? I heard they're
Well,
just as bad.
I heard
if
they're an
not worse.
actual scam. Like I heard they literally just like never stole everyone's money and never sent anyone games, and they're out of business. Like I heard they were dead. Like, are they still like a thing? Are they still pretending to be a real company?
Well,
I
the
heard like
reason
all
why I
their
bring
shit
them
got
up is
canceled.
because when I started going after First Press, I started getting a lot of people saying that you need to start looking into Dispatch. And so what I tell people is this. I'm only one guy, I'm only one person. I can only handle so much at one time, you know. And so I can't possibly, consider going after Dispatch at this time when I'm currently trying to, go after First Press. So that's going to have to be on the back burner. But I don't know. I haven't really looked deep into it, but my understanding is they're worse than First Press ever was. But
Yeah, I heard they
I
were
don't
an
know.
actual scam.
Just wanted to
And
ask to see if you.
yeah, I've heard that they stole people's money. They never shipped out products, and like literally, the games that they were supposed to release like have been like picked up and released by other companies at this point. Like they were like they were
Oh,
supposed to
wow.
come out through Dispatch, and like the companies even pulled out, and like they got released through Strictly Limited or other companies at this point, because they just never shipped on anything. I don't know a ton about it, but I did see. I remember Jordan on Switch Watch was talking about them, and he always says that they're like the biggest scam ever. So, and
Interesting.
A lot of
he
the
said
biggest
that.
over there,
And he
so-
started saying that about First Press too. He was like he'd be like, "Hey, Chained Echoes got announced, but just so you know, I don't know if this company actually sends people their games. That's what it seems like on Twitter. Like you can pre-order it, but apparently they don't send people their games." So he even called them out. I love Jordan.
I mean, these days,
by the way.
it's like, who do you trust? Like, hearing the news about the completionist this week, it's like I've been a massive fan of his for almost a decade, and I'm not going to comment on it until we know the full story. But it doesn't look
Oh,
good.
man.
And
That doesn't actually surprise me as much as other people, because I feel like some people are too nice. Like I think all real people are slightly have a little asshole in them, and that guy's just too nice. So that doesn't surprise me in a way, because the people
Yeah.
who seem to be the nicest turn out to be the most evil almost all the time. The people that are kind of dickheads, that's who they are. Like you're getting the real person. You know what I mean? Like, but when people are just like, "Oh, hi, and it's nice to meet you," you're like, "You psycho." Something's going on there. Like, I don't know. Like, people who are too nice freak me out. I'm like, you're weird. Like, swear or something. What is wrong with you? I don't know.
it'll be interesting to see how it
No,
all pans
as far
Yeah.
as like, I agree that I was also like disappointed when I heard the news of what the completion is. But see, for me it goes a little bit deeper, because I have a son with a medical condition, and for me it's important when I tell people, and I'm trying to raise money for that specific cause. I've also encountered people that are not as trustworthy, and it makes sense because of things like what's coming out now about the completionist. It's not something that you mess around with, like when you raise awareness or you raise funds for something, make sure that it's going to the proper place where it needs to go. So I find that really disturbing as someone that, like I said, has a son with a terminal medical condition. Like that's just not cool. You just don't do
And
something
there's
like
some
that. But
important things to note here. Like, even if he hasn't spent a single dollar, but if it is all just sitting in one bank account, guess what? That's 10 years that research isn't going to be done on certain things. That's
exactly.
10 years that people have died in hospitals because that money hasn't gone towards them. Like, it doesn't make up
Exactly.
for lost time, and you can't buy time again. So, yeah,
Exactly.
it's pretty upsetting to hear.
It is a shitty situation, but at least it didn't turn out he blew it on like hookers and blow or something. At least the money's there
That's
still.
true.
So
Well,
that's something.
We're hoping it's still there. My understanding is that there's still not full concrete evidence that it's still there, but let's hope that yes, it's still there.
Yeah.
Let's also
Now I know
remember-
how he bought every Wii game on
Yeah,
the 3DS
every
shop.
single
That son of a
digital
bitch.
game. I know, like watching that video in my head. I'm like, this guy must be killing it on YouTube to be able to do this.
That was like 30.
And now I'm like, okay, how'd you get that money? You know,
Yeah.
I know for a fact these games aren't $5 each; they're full price. DLC's full fucking price. You would have spent. I'm sure he brought up the figures in that video. It was like $40,000. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, let's bring up some positive news. This is our 100th podcast that we've ever done of the PlayStation Collective podcast.
Shit. I didn't realize,
Oh.
dude. All right, let's do this.
Part of that, do I win a prize?
Well, just with that in mind, I want to give some thank yous. I want to thank Joe, Will, we've got Andy, we've got Reggie, we've got Sylvan, Pavel, Laura, and all you guys who watch every week who've made this possible. We've had some ups and downs of the podcast, but we're 100 shows in. We're going to keep going for 100 more. And yeah, thanks to everyone for coming along for the ride.
Oh, yeah. I got to get Bruce in there.
That's
pretty
awesome.
amazing.
I can tell you as someone that has started something from the ground up and having it, succeed the way that it has, it makes you feel proud. So definitely feel proud for coming along for 100 episodes. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it started off as just a couple of guys wanting to chat to each other, and it's turned into one of my favorite things to look forward to every week. So it's pretty awesome. And with that in mind,
That's cool.
we have some segments that we do on this podcast, and one of those is a quiz, world famous Figsy quiz we do every week. So let's get into the Figsy quiz.
I heard that the guy who won the Figsy quiz has been waiting for his game 3 years, and that Figsy blocked him on everything. And
That is not true. I sent Mario his tracking number last week, so he should get his game soon. Jesse, you can see the screen all right, man?
Yes.
All right, sweet. So we'll get into the quiz soon, but before we get into that, I do have some information for you guys. So last week's episode, chat had a question that they couldn't answer. However, during the week over on the Discord, Banfi correctly answered Manhunt, and Banfi has been awarded the point. So congratulations, Banfi. And if you guys want to also have the opportunity to earn points while the show isn't live, jump in the Discord. All the action goes on over there, so it should be in the description of the video. And we do have a new question for chat this week. I will just bring up the scores quickly. So this will be our North American show. We're going to have 2 prizes this season. And for our North American show, right now we have Cyrus on 2 points and Banfi on 1 point. So to be awarded a point, you have to correctly answer the title in chat. First person to get 5 points will win themselves a game. Shipped anywhere in the world, so everyone's welcome to participate. So chat, here is your question today. I need the video game.
I think I know it. Yeah, I know it.
We'll leave it up for a while. While chat's thinking on that, let's get into the quiz. So, Jesse, this is your first time on the show. Would you like to go first, or would you like Joe to go first today?
I'll give this a shot. Why not?
All right, sounds good. Jesse's going to be going first. Joe, you'll be going second.
Let's go.
So we have 8 questions, and then I have a bonus round of question 9, which we'll get to later. We do have some correct answers, and that was very, very quick. I just hate to see who was first. So first with the correct answer was Banfi again. Congratulations, Banfi. You can correctly named Dead Island Riptide. Collection is right as well. But yeah, unfortunately, Banfi was first. So Banfi takes another point.
No, dude, it says Reptide. Some sort of
No, it's meant to be
reptile
British.
tide. I know, I'm just messing.
And Banfi is now leading the EU and equal first in the NA show. He wants his video game.
Let's go.
Might be having 2 shipped out. Straight
You will
to
be
Rome.
getting
West Coast.
a broken copy of what is it? Robo Regatta? What was it?
Roboto.
Yeah.
All
All right, question number 1. Jesse, this one's for you. What famous video game was named from a quote in the 1986 Tom Cruise movie, The Color of Money? Was it Afterburner, Doom, Fire Emblem, or Shinobi?
Ooh, I have no idea.
I can't remember the last time The Color of Money has come up. I've seen the movie, but good God, dude.
I'm gonna
You're going way back.
Can I guess, and you could tell me if I'm right or wrong?
Yeah.
That's how I do half, like 80% of these.
I'm gonna go with Afterburner. I feel like I'm wrong though.
Afterburner. Joe?
Not Afterburner? Bro, that was my guess too, for sure. I doubt it's Doom. I don't see what the fuck.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think it's Doom.
Doom? I don't see that could be a quote. I just don't see how Doom in The Color of Money could possibly be. Shinobi or Fire Emblem? Shinobi's a ninja.
I'm gonna go Shinobi out of those.
I would think Shinobi. Yeah, I'll go Shinobi.
The correct answer was Doom.
Good game, good game.
What you got in there?
In here? Doom.
Come on, boy. Let's play.
Yeah, let's
No, he was saying he has Doom running on his pool cue. Like it's got a little screen on it. I'll prove to me that that's where the name of the Doom game came from. It's because you said the word Doom.
Hey, Viveldic's hard for these questions and answers. I'm sure they're all right. All right,
Never
moving
would've,
on to question
never would.
number 2. Joe, this one's for you.
Okay.
What popular game series was initially called Science Fiction X when it was going through development? Was it Gears of War, Half-Life, Deus Ex, or Mass Effect?
I'll say Half-Life.
Half-Life is incorrect. Jesse, for the steal?
I was gonna say Deus Ex.
Deus Ex is also incorrect. Correct answer was Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, moving on to question number 3. Jesse, this one's for you. In which Nintendo Switch game Joe Biden advertising his election campaign?
Oh, I know this one. Animal Crossing. New Horizons.
Correct answer is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Jesse takes the point.
Is that supposed to be him? Because I'm just going to say that's a little inaccurate.
That's him in the 60s. All right, Joe, question 4.
1960s.
Barack Obama's presidential campaign was one of the first to use in-game advertising. In which racing game was it?
Barack Obama, 2008 racing game. I could think of a lot of funny, offensive jokes, but I'm not going to say them. It's not 50 Cent Blood and Sand. No, I'm just kidding. It's I'll say Gran Turismo.
Not Gran Turismo. Jesse?
Need for Speed.
Wasn't a Need for Speed game, so the correct answer was Burnout Paradise.
Really?
And this
Yeah,
is
interesting.
You can drive
billboard.
that car right through that freaking billboard, baby.
Yeah, you probably could. All right, moving on to question 5. Jesse, this one's for you. What game was the first video game to ever have a high score? Or high score records?
Wait, what? Oh, what's the first video game to have high score records? Da, 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 da. Man, the first things that came to my mind was Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, but I know that there's games prior to that did it.
You can lock one in if you want.
What's that? What's the name of that game where you shoot stuff? Space Invaders? I'm gonna go with Space Invaders. I don't know.
That was my guess.
Correct answer is
Nice.
Space Invaders.
That's what I was gonna guess too. Nice, well done.
Nice.
Well done.
All right, moving on to question number 6. The first. Oh no, I'm reading about the answer.
Yeah, come on, that makes it
Why is
easy.
the answer to the question? The first American player to catch all 142 in the US was given round the world plane tickets. It's 2 words. I need both words to be correct. Joe?
It's 2 words. The first American. I mean, I think it's Pokemon, but it's 2 words.
It's 2 words.
Pokemon. Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go is correct.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, the first player to catch all 142 Pokemon in Pokemon Go in the US was given a round-the-world trip.
And also an endless amount of pussy. Good for that guy. Do you know? I was the first.
You want to go to Paris tonight? I'm a Pokemon master.
Baby.
All right, moving on to the next round. So this next round, you are going to be receiving an image, and you'll have to change one letter from the image to make a title of a video game. That letter will be on the screen. Jesse, this is your one. So you've had to change the letter L to the letter D to make the title of a video game.
Oh. Wow, you're giving me really hard ones here.
These can be really hard to figure out what is going on.
I don't even know where to begin on this one. Joe, take a crack at this one. I'm not sure.
So these are hard to figure out. So what I'm thinking is that's Wario, and I think that's
Right.
wool. So I think it's the L is the D. So I think it's Wario's Woods.
Wario's
Wow.
Woods.
Yeah, these are hard, dude. I literally have a huge advantage.
These are hard. Joe gets them all right.
Don't get them all right, but I some of them I do. Some of them.
All right, Jared, here's your one
migraines.
for the week.
What am I looking at? W equals K. Mortal Kombat. Because it's a wombat.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, guys, at the end of our regular 8 rounds, Joe's got a lead of 3 points. Jesse's right behind in 2 points. Let's move on to our final round, which is round 9. Now, round 9's our big special round.
None of the first rounds matter, Jesse. It's all about this last round.
Hey, it can be. Not if you're going 50-50.
It's true. I mean, I do lose by like a point a lot, so it does matter. Yeah.
All right, so this round, I'm going to show you guys an image on the screen of 16 slogans. You have to guess what console the slogan is for. Each one you get right, you get a point. Each one you get wrong, you will get a strike. If you get 3 strikes, you're out. And you guys will take turns in answering. So, Jesse, you're going to go first. Joe will go second. Here are your 16 slogans this week. Now, I need the console that these slogans are used for.
I'm going to be bad at this.
Jesse, you're up first.
Now You're Playing with Power is Nintendo Entertainment System.
Now You're Playing with Power is the NES. Jesse takes the point. That was number 1. And I'll just get you to call out the number as well.
I'm going to say Life 15, Life Advance. This Game Boy Advance?
Life Advance is Game Boy Advance. Joe takes the point.
That's
Jesse,
about the only one I know.
Let's see.
True.
Can I just say that number 6 has aged poorly?
That was my care counselor. How do you used to say it all the time to me?
It was for a kid's console, too.
Yeah, that's very badly.
Is it Mr. Bucket? The balls will pop out of my mouth from Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth, they will pop. All right. So what you guess, man? What you guess?
Escape to a World of Color is Game Boy Color?
Yeah, I think so too.
Number 3 is Game Boy Color. Jesse takes another point. Joe, you're up.
Now you play with Superpower Super Nintendo?
Number 5.
5?
Is Super Nintendo. Joe takes a point. Jesse, you're up.
Oh, I knew that one too, but I didn't even see it. Let's see. Now You're Playing with Power, Portable Power. Was that the Nintendo DS?
That was not the Nintendo DS. Jesse has a strike. Joe, you're up.
Get in or get out has to be the N gauge. It's got to be.
Get in or get out was not the N gauge. Joe
Oh, what? You get out!
Yeah.
Jesse, you're up.
A larger experience?
A 3D game.
Oh no, or video game quote. That'll be the next quiz. Oh, God.
A 3D game for a 3D world. 3DO?
That was not the 3DO. Jesse's got a second strike.
Oh, Jesus.
Dang.
Is number 8 3DS?
It's
Nintendo
not
3DS?
the 3DS.
Oh,
Jared's got a second.
gosh. We're
All right,
both
guys.
hanging on by a
Let's move
thread,
on.
bro. These are hard.
You're up.
I'm trying to think what touching is good would be. I'm still stuck on that one.
It does actually make sense. So it's, yeah, if you think about it, you might be able to get it.
I mean, the only console that requires touch would be like the DS, I would say, but because of the
Locking
touch
it in?
screen. Yeah, I'll lock it in.
Touching isn't good was the DS. That's right.
Nice job,
Oh,
bro. Nice job. Okay, I have no clue on any of these now, so we're just completely guessing. Take a look inside. God, that's super familiar to me. I know I've seen that, but I can't place it. The World You Wish For. Born to Play is very familiar too. These are also generic. God. A larger experience. 3DS XL?
A larger experience. I'll give it to you because it was the 3DI XL, but I'll give you the point.
Oh, God, take it.
Same, pretty much the same console.
Yeah.
All right. Jesse, you're up.
Okay, so question: not all of these are Nintendo, right? They could be other platforms.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on.
Oh, wait. Actually, I don't know. I mean, so far, I think they mostly have been.
Nintendo.
Yeah, every single one's Nintendo. I should have mentioned that at the start. I do
Okay, so
apologize. And it does say Nintendo.
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
outside.
man. This guy over, he should be able to take his 3DO bid back. All right.
Right. I didn't even know that. Anyway, let's see. So take a look inside. What would be? That can't be GameCube. I don't see it. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna go with The World You Wish For GameCube.
What number is that, sorry?
9.
9.
The World You Wish For is not GameCube. Jesse is
Ah.
locked out. Joe? You're
I'm
up.
gonna say number 2, play anytime. We haven't gotten 2 yet, right? Play
No.
anywhere, anytime. I'm just saying that's just a Game Boy.
Incorrect. Joe is locked out. So the scores finish on Jesse with 5 points, but this week's winner is Joe Rad. Congratulations, Joe.
Woo! All right, we gotta know the
Can we know
answers,
the-
man.
Can we know the answers?
All right, we'll go through the answers quickly. But these were tough. But if you did think about them, I think they were.
I'm like, can't even name 16 Nintendo consoles, bro.
So number 2, I think the clue with that was the anyone, which was the online
Switch.
way of saying.
Switch.
Oh,
So
3DS,
the
the Street
Switch.
Pass, oh, the Switch. Okay.
Number 2 was the Switch.
Mhm.
Number 4, take a look inside, was the 3DS.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 7, how will you play next, was the Wii U.
I thought that was number 8 because of Mario 3D Land.
Now, number 8 was tricky, but Nintendo consoles, it was an older one. It was the Virtual Boy.
Okay.
Ah, that makes sense.
Number 9 would have been really tough. It was the DS Lite. 10, we would like to play, was the Wii.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Get Out was the
I said
N64.
N-Gage. And still, damn it. It's not Nintendo.
I would have said N-Gage too.
What was it? I'm sorry. What was it?
It was the N64.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
We got the larger experience. Born to Play was the GameCube.
Mm.
We got the Game Boy OG. We got the advanced one, and What Will You and I Do was the DSi. So thanks for playing Figsy's quiz. Well done to Joe, and well
That
done,
was
Banshee, for the chat question. And
That's
thanks,
tough.
Jesse, for coming along and playing. That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, guys, we have a couple of memes that have been submitted from you guys over on the Discord. Every week we ask you guys if you want to see your stuff, just upload it on the Discord channel and we show it on the podcast. So here are the memes sent in this week. So we have a 1998 prank, and then we have a 2020 rapper, and it's the same thing.
Wait, is that Machine Gun Kelly at the bottom?
Yeah.
So it's one thing to get face tattoos, but why is it that they get such crappy face tattoos? Why does it look literally like a 2-year-old drew on him with the crayon? Like, that's the part that blows me away. It's not a cool, like, at least Mike Tyson's tattoo looks kind of cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like Maori tattoos where they actually like look good, you know.
Yeah, but these people, they got like stick figures on their head. What the fuck is
My
that?
favorite one is the guy that got a tattoo of an ice cream cone on his face.
Why? You see the fake one that's going around right now? This lady has like Kevin tattooed on her forehead, but it's fake.
Wow.
Next meme we've got I'm spiritual. No, you just smoke weed, collect rocks, and hear voices in your head. Triggered.
Can we just go back to that one second? The nose ring and the necklace are in the moon with the like gemstone. It's too good. And the nose ring, That's the perfect touch. Just so you know.
We've got 2020. The Steam Deck needs a better battery, a better screen. The battery life sucks. And November 23. This is a cash grab. I'm perfectly fine with my day one Steam Deck. Valve literally giving you what you asked for. Dark Souls. I was good enough to get 2 sequels. Neo, my sequel has a better character creator than your trilogy, The Surge. I somehow got a sequel. Bloodborne, you guys are getting sequels? Armored Core returning with their 15th title, but calling it Armored Core 6.
Yeah.
True, right? Bloodborne's the best out of all of them. It didn't get a sequel.
Yeah, it puts it a little bit of perspective when you hear The Surge got a sequel. Not that that's a terrible game, but come on now.
Speaking of the Bloodborne, I'm still playing through Lies of P. I'm like halfway through the game, and it is so fantastic. Amazing game. If you're a Souls fan, definitely check it out. It's on Game Pass, so you can play it for like $10.
There's nothing wrong with having a nose ring Lulu girl. I'm just saying that was a nice touch for the... Never mind.
And I got a bit of news to show you guys, which is positive news for a while. So one of the biggest games of the year came out digitally only. That was Baldur's Gate 3. Well, it's been announced that there was a physical copy in Asia, but it's been announced that there's a collector's edition coming next year. Physical PS and the Xbox. So we are now getting a physical copy in the PAL region of Baldur's Gate 3. Let's fucking go.
Unfortunately, though, it is being done by First Press Games, so we're never actually going to see it. I'm just kidding. That's not true.
Oh, what? No, please don't be true.
It's $600. You'll get it in 3023. Yep.
I also want to announce that Video Game Plus right now are doing half price on Siberian Painkiller, so you can get Siberian Painkiller for $30. It is the reprint, but you know they're like few $100 still, so it's definitely worth picking up.
I really wasn't that interested in grabbing them, but that's a good deal. I think I'll pick them up. But I already have the Painkiller PAL copy. Do I really need them?
Sell it. It's worth more than $30.
Yeah.
I sold my last one for 180.
Okay, maybe I will get 2.
That was before the price got cheaper and things like that, but you know. And we've also got some pickups from you guys over in the Discord, so let's get into the pickups quickly.
I have a shit ton of pickups, so we might want to hurry up. The Thursday show.
You always have lots of pickups, Joe.
I'll get a few.
So we've got an awesome pickup from Clean here. We've got some Mexican slip covers. We've got FIFA soccer slip covers, so these have all got Mexican players on the front. And then we've got the Batman Arkham Origins. We've got the Injustice Gods Among Us. And this one I'd never actually seen before, which is one of the...
Oh, that's the one he was talking about. He said they had one coming in, right?
Different one. He's talking about the purple one. I didn't even know he had this one. Yeah, so this one's so cool.
Anyone else here outcast every time Clean's name is mentioned in their head? Just... No, not that song.
We got some pickups from Trickster. Another one of the Project Zero games on the Xbox.
It's a cool cover.
Pocket Fighters. I'm not too familiar with that one. It looks cool. And then we've got Grandeur on PS1, which is just an amazing game.
Pocket Fighter is like little mini chibi Street Fighter characters. And it's a fighting game. It's actually pretty collectible. I think it's worth that. I don't know what the PAL copy is worth, but it's worth it like $60-ish here.
We got some more pickups from Cyrus. So we have Coffee Talk 1 and 2. A bunch more Switch games. Grand Fandango. We've got some Super Mario.
Nice.
Mario Party with the controllers.
That's cool.
Rocky Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures. Got Double Dragon.
So that Mario Party thing is annoying because it doesn't come with the actual game. But
really?
It's just a download code and Joy-Cons. There's no game in the box.
That is correct. He is accurate.
Yeah, but that blue Joy-Con on the right is like unique to that set. You can't get that color any other way. So
of course, because why would they do it the other way around?
But what's annoying that everybody's complaining about is that's the crappy Mario Party that came out on the Switch. There's Mario Party Superstars. It's 1,000 times better. It's like a remake of a bunch of the old games. And it's just a download code anyway. So why did you put the good one in there? Like, why did you put the crappy? Yeah, why? Why would you put the one that nobody liked as the download code? I could see them being like, we have a bunch of physical copies nobody bought. Let's package them and bundle them. But that's it's code. So they just put the crappy one. It's like literally it's so irritating.
Speaking of which, really quickly, that one came out in Asia apparently with a different set of Joy-Cons. And I think it has the physical copy. I'll have to verify that to be sure.
Japan doesn't mess around, dude.
Yeah.
I got some new pickups from Link.
Oh, nice. That's some good stuff. I literally own
Death
every
and
one of
Guns
these.
2, I kind of regret not getting, but still for sale. I'm sure I'll be able to find one.
Yeah. What's the one on the bottom right?
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Maybe I don't have that one. But I have Gunborg is really great. Riddle Corpses is okay.
Silent Swan looks pretty cool.
Everybody is picking that up. I've seen a million people grab that. I was on the fence. It's not quite a horror game, but it's kind of like a creepy mystery psychological thingy. So that's good. I don't know. It's like straddles the line, so I might pick it up.
Guild looks interesting too.
That game's badass. Yeah, I got that a couple weeks ago. Reggie has been playing that on his channel.
Nice. I like the artwork of that backpack. It looks cool.
Yeah, that must be some special edition or something.
And then we got some pickups from Link. We got Air Twister.
Oh, that's some good stuff right here.
Oh, I forget what this is called. The Xbox 360 game.
That's Akai Katana. It's a cave shmup.
And then we got part 1 and 2.
Yep, you got to pick up part 3, bro. Oh wait, they didn't. Oh yeah, that's actually wicked annoying. So the PS4 got Psycheo 1 and 2 and didn't get 3, but the Switch got all 3. So
oh my god,
I own all 3 on the Switch, and I own those because I'm
so that annoys me because I prefer to own them on PS4. But if there's only 2, I then want all 3 on the Switch, not the PS4 ones.
That's what I was talking about the last week, where if there's like a whatever console has the more complete collection I want, I just get that one because at least I have them all.
I'm just going to show you guys a PM I just got too from Cyrus.
Joe is such a jerk. Oh, what the heck? Why'd you put that in there?
So
hey, speaking of First Press Games.
Looky there. They're real, guys.
They look pretty cool, the slip covers.
No, they are.
Cool. That makes a picture of a tree. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then they have
But is that worth 4 years?
No.
And also, you know, here's the thing, like, are you going to commit yourself to buying every game that they release so you have that pretty picture? Are you?
Well, I know someone like
I'm not
a full Switch set, so he's obligated.
Well, he is. Yeah, well, if that's fine, but I'm just saying, like, I only want their shmups. So I do not care about the picture or that stuff. Like, to me, I just like I don't know. They're not catering. They need to just have different tiers. They need to just sell people like me just the game. I don't care about the sleeves. I don't care about that. I don't care about that crap. I don't care. I just want the games. And they need to have that option. Like, here's $20, $30. Just send me the game. I don't want any of this crap.
Put the price of that.
And they need to do it within a year.
$10, $20, however much you want to do. People will buy the version that has just the game. And more people buy that than any other version you've got because most people just want the game.
Correct. And they have now they have like a sleeve to hold the games, the sleeves in the sleeve. They have that thing going on now too. Up for pre-order, guys. If you want to pre-order it from them, you can get the sleeve for the sleeves that don't exist.
But yeah, you know, like I bought that for Shantae. Guess what? Mine sat empty for
Oh,
12 months,
jeez.
and I sold it before I even got the last game because it annoyed me that much. It was just sitting empty.
You know what annoys me? I bought the Blaster Master trilogy from Limited Run Games on the Switch, and
God.
like I didn't get the little stupid sleeve, and like now I really want the little stupid sleeve, and it's like I just spent a lot of money on the little stupid sleeve, and I'm going to too, and that's what makes me sad is the realization that I've looked at it on eBay so many times that I know I'm going to buy it. I go through like a process.
But
You know what I mean?
the Asian version of the game has all 3 of the games and is more complete.
Yeah. I bought that PS4 version of that as well.
Okay.
But this is now we're getting into that thing you were talking about earlier where that person had OCD and they wanted them all to have like matching spines. Like this is something like that. It's not about this is about me having all 3 of them on the Switch in the sleeve and having it look pretty. It's not it's like a mental thing.
I'm not gonna judge, but
Bro.
I'm just saying the Asian version's better. But
so the way I deal with these things is I buy them all. I will buy
that
all
works.
3 and the sleeve and the Asian version. That's how I deal with this.
That
so now
works.
I have
Well, that way you can
OCD
keep those 3 sealed, open the Asian version, and play that one because it's the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah. Now, see, I respect that.
Yeah, so sometimes, like, dude, this is like the sickness I have. Like, I try to explain this to Figsy. Like, I have a VR collection over here, and then I have an RPG collection over here. And they released a Trails game that has a VR mode. And I had to buy 2 copies so I could have one in my VR collection and one in my Trails collection of my games. Dude, that's mental. This is what
I
I'm
used to
saying.
do this show that I solved my addiction. I got over it.
Well, I'm working on it. All right.
Hey,
Someday.
but is it really as bad though as an addiction to look for reprinted cartridges and spend thousands of hours looking through eBay listings? I mean that's insane. Like psychotic.
It's no difference to what I used to do with collecting like sticker variants of games and searching eBay for hours to find a sticker that I don't have on my copy.
Yeah. We all have our thing. I get it.
Yeah, but you know, that's
all about getting into the hobby, and the more hardcore you get, the more you discover. If you say I'm going to collect all these games, well, guess what? You collect them all. What's next? Do you want to keep going? Because there's always something next. You collected a full set of whatever it is. Well, there's games in other regions. There's variants. There's steelbooks. There's collector's editions. It goes on and on. There's promos. You know, you can collect the press kits. It doesn't stop. You could collect just one series, and it won't. I got a friend that collects Metal Gear Solid, and I remember years ago he's like, "I got everything for Metal Gear Solid," and he's still finding new things every week. He finds new things. It's crazy. It doesn't stop.
That's awesome.
I know the Sega Dreamcast is still getting games printed for it. You know, so I mean, it's possible 20 years from now that we get a brand new Switch game. We just never know.
I hope so. I literally do. I hope these companies keep making them.
Cyrus is saying that he loves the Facebook group and he contributes there a bit. So small world.
Nice.
That's for sure.
Cyrus, just out of curiosity, have we encountered each other before? I'm sure we have.
It sounds like someone that you would have, because Cyrus is going for a full Switch set, and I believe he's over the 2,500 mark, 2,400 mark.
Wow.
Now it's what I'm curious to know is if they're going for a full set, does that include each revision printed of every game?
That's a fair question. We'll find out.
That seems to me that'd be like one of the things when he's done, if he wants to keep going type things. You know, it's like when you complete the vanilla set and you decide whether or not you want to keep going for variants and that sort of thing. What I would expect is he would probably go through and just start upgrading and replacing everything to get the best versions. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but hang on. When you're collecting a full set, when I collected a full PS3 set, I wanted the first print of every game because that made sense. buying the first print of every single, like it's called the black label copy.
Hmm?
So it almost makes sense to buy the first and the last revision of a game.
No, well, that does
That,
make the most sense.
that
Yeah,
does make sense, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that is unlike the PlayStation black labels and stuff, we we need to see the cartridge to know the print. It can't, you can't see it through the case, which is super stupid. Nintendo, by the way, fix that. But yeah, that'll be the difficult part for
It's the
someone
same
going
with
for that.
new PlayStation games. We're constantly getting reprints of PS2, 3, 4, and we don't know until someone comes out and say, "Hey, the address is different on the back." We know that there's a reprint. Like these companies aren't revealing that they're
Right.
reprinting games, which is a bit shady in itself as well. Because then there was a case with Siberia and Painkiller, which we called out on this podcast, that they got reprinted, and there was a guy on Whatnot selling them without revealing that they were reprinted. And the first like 6 or 7 went for like $500 each, and they were reprinted brand new games, like completely ripping people off. And now it's
Right.
to the point where Video Game Plus have taken it on and bought them, and they're selling them for retail or even cheaper. But
$30.
yeah, initially
even-
they were being auctioned off, and it was
That's
one
gotta
at a
hurt.
time, and it was so dodgy. It was so like the whole reprinting thing is a dodgy scene as well. Like people have to be aware that that $300 PS2 game that you bought mightn't be a game that was only sold 20 years ago. It might be a game that was printed in the last 5 or 6 years.
The Nightfall just happened. It's $40 right now. Just got reprinted. It was like
It was
$150.
$200-$300 on the PS4.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
it's 30,
yeah.
40.
Yeah, and I ordered a sealed copy, and it showed up crushed. It
Oh.
was so irritating, so I returned it.
Man.
What sucks is I'm gonna have to order from them again. I'm gonna send them a note like, "I'll give you an extra $3 if you put it in a box, you jerks." Like, literally, that's what I'm gonna
We'll
say.
return it again.
I'm like, do I have to pay you extra money for you to like ship it to me, like like a responsible human being? Like, do you mind, like, not just putting it in tissue paper and throwing a sticker on it? Like, what the hell, dude? Like,
Can we call out Limited Run for that too? Because Limited Run does that nonsense where they'll send stuff and it's not very well packaged. And my supposed limited print, which is going to be reprinted later in retail, comes damaged and stuff. Like it's ridiculous.
all the time. Yeah,
all the time. I don't know how many times I've emailed them to have them
do the opposite and call out the guys that do it right. So Play Asia, Video Game Plus, they use boxes. They've always used boxes. I think Video Game Plus came out and said we're never going to use a bubble mailer moving forward ever. Every single order is going to have a box, and guess what? Their postage is fucking cheaper than limited run games. Like, how does it make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all.
So I used to order like one game at a time from them, and I always got them in bubble mailers, and they were broken. Like my Toe Jammer was broken, my Zombies Ate My Neighbors was broken. I mean, smashed, completely crushed, broken into like you can shake it and pieces are falling out of it. Freaking ridiculous. And so like, and then if you want a box, they charge you money for the box, which is ludicrous. So now I just realized that if you order 2 or 3 games from them at a time, you will get a box from them every time because they
because it has to be a bigger. It has to be something bigger to
But every order takes forever because if you order 4 games, you're absolutely going to have one of those games hold up your entire order for months. So I constantly will see people posting in the groups like, I got my game. I'm like, yep.
Still waiting.
Yep.
And honestly, man, if I didn't have the project I was doing where I need the information as soon as possible. So for like example, Alien Isolation, the collection that they just did for Switch, it's on its way to me as we speak. And I want to be one of the first to make a post as, if it's complete on card or whatever. And I just feel like if I did it the other way, I wouldn't get it right away, and then I would have to depend on other people that are not part of the group sometimes to get that information, and that could be difficult, So I don't know. It's just
I hope that is complete because I don't think you can get a complete copy on PS4. I don't think any of them have it all the like the Nostradamus edition and all that other crap, or the
Yeah.
Ripley edition. It's all download codes.
Hang on, isn't
Well-
the Ripley edition on disc?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
I think it is.
Well,
on
the fact
PS3,
that
let me have a look.
the fact that the game has been out on Switch forever now, you would think that it would be completely there, but we'll see.
So it might have like some content on the disc. The regular version doesn't happen, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up, and because I was trying to find the most complete version, and it was a download code for something. But I could, like I said, I could be wrong.
It's a download code. That sucks.
Yeah, I am
Wow.
wrong. See, I'm never wrong. I was 100%.
PS3 version. It's like $60. The download code.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, there you can't get the complete, because I do this. Like I said, I'm into that. Like I will look up like what version is the best. That's like why I bought the Bloodborne Game of the Year edition from PAL, and I usually never go for the PAL over ESRB. But I was like, this is clearly the best one. It's all on there. I'm getting it. You know, so it's like
The Asian version's the same. It's all
Yeah.
Like they sell Bloodborne Game of the Year edition as that's just the version that you buy in that region. Like it comes with the DLC. You know what annoys me is I recently sold my other 2 copies of Alien Isolation because I had the Ripley edition, which is the best one. But now I'm realizing, hang on, it's just download codes, and what if they expire? Like, wouldn't I be better off selling that and just keeping the other version?
I have the regular one.
Yeah.
I didn't get the fancy one, so hopefully the Switch one has it
So
on there.
does the PAL version work on an American PS4 or PS5?
See, this is where it
They
gets
do?
technical. So you could buy the Ripley edition, for example. It'll work, but if you tried to play the DLC, it won't work because the DLCs are region locked.
So
That is weird.
on what you have to do is like on my PlayStation, I have my US account, I have my UK Europe account, and I have a Japanese account. I have 3 accounts. So I have JoeRad UK, and JoeRad JP. I have all 3. And then you have to log into that. So like if you wanted to play the Ripley Edition DLC, I'd have to log into my UK account, and then I can download it and I can play it on my UK account because I say I live in London or some shit. And then it will let me. But then it's if you try to log into your American account, it'll let you play the base game. But as soon as you try to access the DLC, it won't let you play it. Oh my God, I went to this huge nightmare with Dirt Rally VR trying to get that stupid because
Joe, I was going to say that there'd be a lot of people that aren't savvy enough to do that, and it just won't work for them. And they just
Yeah.
won't
no.
get the
Or they
experience
just
of
won't.
DLC.
Like my girlfriend's like, you have 3 accounts. You're insane. I'm like, no man, I gotta play my shmups from Japan, dude. That's the only way I can play Ketsui or the DLC.
That's why I've
Is that-
got 3 PS3s and 3 of these and 3 of these. And
I
and
was
then I
so
need 4
confused when I bought.
controllers each. And...
Yeah, I bought Ketsui and it has like this big sticker, like DLC included, blah 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 blah. And I try to play it, and I'm like, nothing is working. I'm like, what the freaking hell? And then you log onto a Japanese account, everything's there, just works fine. I'm like, this is so weird. So I don't know.
It's almost like DLC is almost like such a scam when you think.
Oh,
about
I hate it, dude.
Like what? Like why is that region free? It makes no sense when the entire system's region locked. Like the entire system's region free, and they region lock more content. You know, yeah.
We used to just
I
get
don't
sequels.
I don't understand why consoles used to be region locked and they unlocked them now.
Well, so
But they
there was a
still-
genuine reason back in the day. So, especially in Japan, and let's use Persona 4 on the PS3, for example. The reason behind locking that was it got released earlier in a different region, and the money currency made it cheaper to just import it from America. So they had to import back in the day region lock, so people couldn't play games early, or they couldn't buy games overseas and sell them and make profit, which makes sense. But today you don't really have that issue because the world's so interconnected. Like, you know, I can buy a game from Japan in 2 days, buy a game from America in 3 days, and it's going to be here. It's not like, you know,
Yeah.
there's no internet and people don't talk to each other across the world anymore.
Yeah, but I will just say one thing that I do notice: Japan seems to have this thing where there's shit that they won't ship out of their country. like the Final Fantasy plates and stuff, like they wouldn't sell them to the US customers. I just found out, those cool ass Zelda Joy-Cons I got? They
Yep.
have Dragon Quest ones that look rad as hell, bro.
You gotta get
And
a Japanese proxy service to ship to you, man. That's the only way.
they're only on eBay for like $100, $120, and they're not that much. They should be like $60, something like that. You know what I mean? And like I can't find them anywhere to buy them. And you go and play Asia, and they have them, and it just says Japan, and they won't let me buy it. I'm like, dude,
And what
this is
the worst part of
insane.
the worst part of that is that a lot of people that live in Japan can probably buy those for like relative friend that lives in Japan, and he tells me that games out there are really, really inexpensive, but they sell them for double the price on Play Asia because of the shipping and all of that stuff. So, a game that could be $50 on Play Asia is probably 20 to 30 in Japan itself.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I
So-
didn't know if you are aware of this, and I only found out this recently. But did you know in Japan, Blu-rays are like ridiculously expensive? Like,
Yes.
new Blu-rays
Yes.
are like $90 in Japan.
Yes.
Movies, you mean?
Like movies and stuff. It's absurd.
Just movies, period. They're like $100 in
And
Japan.
and they won't have a North American or PAL release, and it's the only way to get them is this Japanese version. So Japan audience don't really buy things digitally. Like they stick to physical markets. Games are cheap, but movies are expensive over there, and it's
I'm not
crazy.
paying $100 for a porn with all the bits fuzzied out. Okay?
Yeah. But fast forward 5 years. What if that's a video game in America and that's the only way to buy it, and it's $100? Would you still buy it?
Yeah.
Because that's sort of
No.
how their movie market works now. Like they don't have another option,
Man, I don't even buy games at $70 now. So no, the answer is no for
Meanwhile,
me.
Best Buy has every 4K UHD on sale for $9.99 right now. You could buy like every movie on
Yep.
Earth for $9.99. They're clearing out everything. So if you
Well,
are
that's 'cause
into,
they're gonna get rid of them.
yeah,
Here's
and
a,
I'm gonna throw like $200 down. I'm gonna get a shit ton of stuff.
If down the line the new Grand Theft Auto comes out to be $80 or $90, guess what? People will buy it, and game companies will then match the price with their new Assassin's
They'll
Creed.
try to.
They will, because if
But they won't.
if games are if they're the only one who has it, are you gonna just not play it?
I
people
think
are
that
other
GTA
players.
6 has some pull that.
They can do it, and if
Assassin's
they
Creed
want to,
won't.
they will, and it'll be
Mhm.
gamers will be the ones to suffer.
But think about how many companies have already tried to release games at $60 and immediately have to drop the price because they're not selling. I mean, that happens all the time.
Tears of the
Games come out
Kingdom sold
That
it
was-
for $70.
for a couple weeks, but they did drop it down to 60 like in a couple weeks. It didn't stay there, but that game's gonna sell.
I am
no matter
concerned.
what.
I mean, you read so much on the internet these days, but I'm concerned that will be a $70 or $75 or $80 game when it drops, and like that'll be the base version. That hopefully this isn't the case, but if that is the case, then
Well,
moving forward we'll see a lot more of this.
to be fair, games have been $60 to $70 since the 90s. Like I bought Phantasy Star 2 on the Genesis. My dad, I didn't buy it. My dad paid like $90 for that Genesis game, dude. I mean, I swear, but like that was a $90 game. I remember he bought it from Child World. I remember, and like, I spent $40 at McDonald's today. So
I'll make an argument
games are gonna
against
go up.
that.
It just
that games aren't the price of retail anymore, because the average person doesn't just buy the game; they buy the DLC. They spend money on cosmetic items. Like, we're not the average buyer. The average person buys 5 games and they play hundreds of hours in their games. And like, you look at people that have played Grand Theft Auto or Fortnite or whatever it is, they got hundreds of dollars spent on those games. That's where they are making more than that $60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's their.
And the unfortunate part is that a lot of games are going in this free-to-play model so that they can make you. We all heard the news of WB Games going in that direction, which is a shame. They hold good properties like Batman, the Arkham Knight series, And does that
I
mean
think
that?
free to play can work. I would argue that free to play is a really good model for sport games because right now we get a new sport game every year. But if you bought a sport game once and they just introduced a new roster, that would be so much better than buying FIFA or NBA every year. Like, it makes sense. And online only games like Call of Duty at this point may as well be online only. They don't care about the single player game. But when it comes to a single player experience, they should never go near a battle pass because that just doesn't make sense. Like the Telltale games used to be a battle pass system. Like, why? It's a single player experience. It doesn't make sense. And obviously talking about Warner Brothers, they're going to keep going down this road. So if you're into Telltale games, guess what? $20 a month for 3 years is what you're going to be paying.
And I mean, how do you feel about Telltale games being $60 full price for what they are? I mean, they're great experiences in some cases. Like, I like The Walking Dead or whatever, but is it really worth $60?
The entire Walking Dead series all in one, maybe, but by the time it came out, no. You know what I mean? Like,
at what point are you buying a story?
Yeah.
Like a movie, and you got to say, hang on, this isn't much different to just watching the show, and it's 10 times the price.
Yeah, and Telltale are notoriously like pretend to give you choices that matter, and they don't. They don't. You're not gonna get like incredibly different endings. Maybe a couple people live and a couple people die, but for the most part, it's really not.
You're not getting a Mass Effect story.
Exactly. Or even Quantum Dreams or whatever, Quantic Dreams. Their games are great. Like, Detroit Becomes Human. Like, definitely matters what you choose. So do we have time to do a million pickups? Should I just save them?
We might save them for the Sunday show, Joe. We've gone over that 2 hour mark.
Look at this.
Jesse, it was great having you on, man. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
It's gonna be even more ridiculous on Saturday. You better schedule an hour or something for me, bro. Oh God.
Yeah, a lot to talk about tonight. It was fun.
That was fun. It was good shit.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. For sure.
You guys, be sure to go and give Jesse a follow over on Twitter, and if you're on Facebook, join his Facebook group as well. He's doing a really awesome thing for the community, and yeah, you guys should definitely support it. You don't have to. Obviously, you can support it for free, but even just liking posts and downloading things and reading things supports different projects, just like this podcast. So yeah, really appreciate
and also
it.
sharing info. You know what I mean? Like, this is all new to everybody. So if you get a new game and you see it's got version 5 on it, send them a photo. Let them know. Like, this
if you play a game and it doesn't work, let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, definitely awesome show. That was really fun, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. It's an honor, honestly. I feel like I'm fairly insignificant, and to be, now for the second time to be asked to be on a podcast, it means a lot to me. So I appreciate that.
So
it's not insignificant.
Really work in the community, man. So appreciate what you do as well. So that goes both ways. And you're a good guest. It was great chatting with you for a few hours.
And if we all stand together, they can't screw us.
It's true. Like, these companies think they can get away with things, but if the community all put their voices out and fight, then guess what? We're gonna get
First Press can ignore just me, but they can't ignore all of us.
Yeah, they can't ignore the government. And, every one of their customers saying, "I want my game and I want my refund," and eventually they're going to do something, and they have. So yeah,
I want my game and I want an apology. That's what I want. I want a little handwritten note saying, "I am so sorry that we made you wait so long, sir. Please forgive us. Beg us for forgiveness. Here's a free coin. Here you go, buddy."
Made out of metal.
And that letter will read, "To whom it may concern, Joe Rad. We apologize for the inconvenience of waiting 4 years. Here's your game. But it's broken in the ventilation room. You can't get past it. See ya."
It's only got version 1 on it though, so it needs a few updates. Bye.
On that night, have a good night, everyone. We'll see you.
All right, bye, everybody.
You found the coolest place to be, the place show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song till the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance.